Thanks for joining us from the Ohio AgNet Voice You Know with the News You Trust studio, sponsored by BASF, where the performance of Veltima fungicide can take your best results even farther. Well, it's been a big weekend. President Donald Trump kicked off the year-long celebration of the country's 250th anniversary with a rally Thursday night at the Iowa State Fairgrounds, where he took a victory lap for Congress' passage of his tax and spending policies in the massive One Big Beautiful Bill. President Donald Trump speaks at a celebration and a rally at the Iowa State Fairgrounds evening before a crowd of thousands of people who came to support him. Trump celebrated the passage of the tax cuts and policy legislation, the One Big Beautiful Bill, which he planned to sign on Friday, July 4th, and he did. The event was the start of the America 250 as the beginning of a year-long celebration of the Declaration of Independence. Trump tied the celebration of the country's history to his return to office and the passage of the Budget Reconciliation Bill. Very simply, the One Big Beautiful Bill would deliver the strongest border on earth, the strongest economy on earth, and the strongest military on earth, and ensure the United States of America will remain the strongest country anywhere, he said. He highlighted some of the wins in the bill, such as making the 2017 tax cuts permanent and no tax on tips income, a $25,000 deduction for workers in the bill for individuals making $150,000 or less. Talking to the farmers in the audience, Trump reiterated the claim that $15 million estate tax exemption for individuals, $30 million for married couples in the legislation would save 2 million family farms from the estate tax. We're losing our farms like nobody's ever seen before, Trump said. He added, you pass away, you leave everything to your children, and they have to pay a big estate tax, or a death tax as we call it, and they couldn't do it. They go out and borrow money, and all of a sudden the bank is foreclosing on the farm. That can happen. Now you have no more estate tax. Few farms are caught up in estate tax under current law. About 3,200 heirs paid the estate tax in 2022, according to the IRS, and 379 of those estates reported farm assets on their balance sheets. The value of farm assets made up about 2% of all property declared by taxed estates, or about $2.7 billion in value. Stocks, bonds, cash, and other real estate accounted for nearly $72 billion of all assets. Trump said the legislation will spur a new record of economic growth in the country, while pressing that his immigration policies have completely shut down illegal border crossings. Trump said the Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem should find a way to ensure farmers are not losing workers to immigration raids. It's a proposal the president continues to reiterate, although no formal actions have been taken. We want to keep them on the farms, Trump said. I don't want to take people away from the farmers. We're going to do something. I think that's going to be good because we want all the criminals. Everybody agrees. We're finding criminals, the murderers, the drug dealers. We're getting them out. Trump acknowledged farm labor is challenging. They bend over all day. We don't have too many people who can do that. They work very hard. In touting the 250th anniversary celebration, Trump said there will be celebrations at national parks across the country and events tied to state fairs as well. And Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins, who also spoke at the rally, told the crowd USDA will open a farmers market at the National Mall in August. I want to invite all of you, every farmer, every rancher, every producer from our state who sells their beautiful crops and their products and their pork and their beef to join us in Washington, Rollins said. Today's weather brought to you by Seed Consultants. Simply better performance online at seedconsultants.com. Here's the forecast.
Showers and a few thunderstorms working through the Buckeye State today. I'm Chief Meteorologist Ryan Martin. Let's take a look at that Ohio Ag weather update. Frontal boundary working in from the west and northwest is a very, very slow mover. I think we are going to be seeing on-again, off-again moisture from midday right on through the late afternoon and early evening hours. By the time we get to sunrise tomorrow morning, I think everything is done for a large part of the state. May see some lingering activity down near the Ohio River in south central and southeastern parts of the state. Through the rest of Tuesday, we can see the clouds break up, getting some sunshine in, and Wednesday at this point looks partly sunny as well. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, that's interesting because there's a little bit of instability trying to pop up over the Ohio, Missouri, and lower Mississippi River valleys, and that can throw in some on-again, off-again scattered shower and thunderstorm activity, but probably no better than about 30 to 40% coverage on any given day, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and we're not looking at big totals either. So is the state largely dry? One could make the argument that we are, but chances of scattered showers are there. It's the kind of chance that I would not necessarily gamble big time on putting hay down or something like that where you need 3 or 4 good dry days back to back. Going into the weekend, Saturday night into Sunday, we do have some on-again, off-again rain showers as a frontal boundary comes through. We then are mostly dry for the next week. The week of the 14th should be precipitation-free at least Monday through Thursday. Chances of scattered moisture trying to pop up late in the west and south. That's a look at your forecast update. I'm meteorologist Ryan Martin.
And thanks, Ryan. Back with more after this.
Whether you're in the fields or on the farm, creating a safer work environment has never been easier. BWC's safety consulting services are included with your policy premiums and offer training and education for everyone in your farming operation. It's always the right time to make safety a priority. Visit bwc.ohio.gov or call 1-800-644-6292. The Ohio Bureau of Workers' Compensation, here to help you work safely.
AmeriHealth Caritas Ohio is your Medicaid plan for more benefits, more rewards. We know that good health means more than just seeing a doctor when you're sick. Eligible members can receive extras like home-delivered meals and family essentials, like baby carriers and kids' school supplies. Members can even earn rewards for playing mobile health trivia games. Learn more at AmeriHealthCaritaSOH.com and call the Ohio Medicaid Consumer Hotline at 1-800-324-8680 to choose AmeriHealth Caritas Ohio.
There's a new name in Ohio Farm Machinery focused on meeting you right at the farm. Let's hear more from the CEO of Ag Revolution about how they're bringing equipment and service solutions directly to local producers with the Farmer First mindset.
Joining me is Stacy Anthony. They've got a word called Farmer First, and I'm going to ask him to explain that and why you use the term so producers out there won't have to ask.
We want to be known as the most farmer-first agricultural company that the customers have ever seen. When I take a look at everybody involved, not only at Ag Revolution, but even connected through our manufacturing partner, AGCO, every time I look around, there is executive people from AGCO, there's engineers, there's manufacturing, supply chain people out on farms. We want to be on farms. We go to the farms to get our solutions. We go to the farms to get the advice, and we go to the farms to gather the opinions of what matters most. And so when you look at Ag Revolution, you look at our manufacturer AGCO, we intentionally are being farmer first because we think that matters. If you take a look at a lot of other manufacturers, you know, sometimes it's easy to get into a rut and start looking at other things that are important, right? You know, sometimes it's maybe what's good for you or what's good for your processes or your manufacturing, or, you know, you hear a lot about those kind of things. You kind of start looking inward. We wanted to just do opposite of that. And by Farmer First, we are always looking first at what the farmer needs, what can help him to be more profitable, what technologies does he need to help him be more efficient. So Farmer First is a first look at what matters most, and that's to the farmer.
So ratified by producers, Farmer First is a pledge from Ag Revolution. Check them out at agrev.com and you'll see more there.
The nearby delivery month crude oil futures rose $2 on Wednesday last week after Israel accepted a ceasefire with Gaza, and despite the Energy Information Administration reporting a build on commercial crude oil and gasoline stocks last week, the bullish sentiment was supported by an announcement from U.S. President Donald Trump on Wednesday stating that Israel has agreed on the terms for a 60-day ceasefire proposed by Gaza, according to media reports. Now, the front month New York MEX WTI futures contract settled up $2 at $67.45, while the September ICE Brent futures contract rose $2 to close at $69.11. The U.S. dollar declined by 0.022 points to 96.45 compared to a basket of foreign currencies. And Wednesday, the EIA reported domestic commercial crude oil inventories rose by 3.8 million barrels to 419 19.0 million barrels in the week ending June 27th. The figure was well above the 680,000 barrel build reported by the American Petroleum Institute on Tuesday for the same reference week. Now, gasoline stocks increased by 4.2 million barrels week over week to reach 232.1 million barrels last week. Market participants are focused on the upcoming OPEC Plus meeting, where the group is expected to announce an increase in its August output of 411,000 barrels per day. Additional attention's also on July 9th, which marks the end of the 90-day pause on tariffs declared by the Trump administration on May 12th. And it's coming, the Ohio State Fair, and you're invited to the Ohio State Fair 50-year club celebration. Did you attend the Ohio State Fair 50 or more years ago? If so, you are part of a proud tradition, and we invite you to celebrate the legacy with fellow longtime fairgoers at this year's 50-year club celebration. It will be on July 29th. Admission to the 50-year club celebration is free with no membership dues. Just come and enjoy. And by the way, it looks like July 29th is Senior Citizens Day at the fair. Seniors receive free admission onto the fairgrounds. There's another reason to schedule, come out and be there for July 29th and a 50-year club celebration. Today's market analysis is brought to you by the Louis Dreyfus Company. Excited to be building the newest state-of-the-art soybean crush facility in Upper Sandusky, Ohio. For marketing information on your beans to LDC, call 574-566-2113. Here's Ryan Martin.
Grain markets were closed on Friday in observance of the Independence Day holiday. All eyes this week are going to be on trade and the U.S. administration. Remember, the big beautiful bill passed after we were done with trade last Thursday, but I honestly think most of the talking points in the big beautiful bill were probably already traded with last week's pop in soybean oil, and I don't like how the trade viewed the marketplace as we went through the Thursday trading session, backing off of highs. So I think there could be maybe some buy the rumor, sell the fact. We'll get to it. But otherwise, now that the legislation here at home is done, I think the Trump administration turns focus completely to trade deals. Remember, July 9th, so just a couple of days here, is when the reprieve or the belaying of the reciprocal tariffs comes off, and so lots of trade deals need to get talked about very, very soon. Last week there were reports that the U.S. had signed a trade deal with Vietnam. There were rumors late last week that China was finalizing a trade deal to be announced this week. Heard nothing about that over the weekend, but if that China deal is right, and if there's anything agriculturally in it, and ag products were specifically mentioned in the rumors last week, that will help corn, beans, and wheat as we move forward. That's what I think the little bit of a bump was in the market on Friday outside of the big beautiful deal. President Trump spoke in Iowa late last week at the Iowa State Fair, did not necessarily make any major trade announcements. This is going to be what the story is going to be about through probably the Monday and Tuesday trading sessions. We are also going to be seeing weekly export inspections numbers. No big surprises there expected, but never say never. Still looking at probably having to see corn exports adjusted in an upcoming WASDE, likely July. I'm Ryan Martin.
And thanks, Ryan. Today's market's brought to you by Seed Consultants. Simply better performance online at seedconsultants.com. Overnight at the open, July corn down 7 at 426. December 427 and 1/4, down 10. March down 10 and 1/4 at 443. July beans unchanged at 10.55 and 1/4. November down 13.5 at 10.34.5. January down 13 at 10.50 and a half. The July wheat's unchanged at 5.47 and 3/4. September down a dime at 5.46 and 3/4, and December down 9.5 at 5.68 and 3/4. Cattle August closing on Thursday last week up $1.60 at 214.05. October up $1.20 at 210.90. July lean hogs down $1.67 at $107.97. August down $1.80 at $106.10. September feeder cattle up 50 cents at $309.37. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day, everyone. I'm Dale Minyo. This is the Ohio AgNet.